Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving deep into Chapter 1 of Business Studies, the nature and significance of management. My goal is to give you a rock-solid understanding of everything you need to know for your exams. So let's get right into it. When you look at a massive company like the Tata Group, operating in over 100 countries, doing everything from steel to software, you have to wonder, how do they pull that off? Well, it's definitely not luck. It's this deliberate, powerful force called management. Think of it as the invisible engine that gets thousands of people all pulling in the same direction. Today, we're going to pop the hood and see exactly how that engine works.
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to start with the absolute basics. What even is management? Then we'll get into its main features and goals and why it's so incredibly important. We'll even jump into that classic art versus science debate. And we'll wrap it all up with a super focused recap to make sure you're ready for any question that comes your way. Let's do this.
Okay, first things first. Before we can talk about anything complex, we need to build a strong foundation. We need a really clear definition. So what are we actually talking about when we use the word management? This definition from Kreitner is pretty much the gold standard, but I want you to focus on three specific words here: process, effectively, and efficiently. Now, they might seem kind of similar, but trust me, understanding the difference between them is the secret to understanding the whole topic. Let's break them down one by one. So, process. This is a huge deal because it tells us that management isn't a one-time thing. It's a continuous cycle. A manager is always moving through these different stages: planning, then organizing, then directing, and once they're done, the cycle just starts all over again. It's a job that is never really, truly finished. And now for effectively and efficiently. You absolutely have to know the difference here. It's a favorite exam question. So imagine this. Your goal is to produce 100 shirts. If you produce those 100 shirts, congratulations. You were effective. You hit your target. But what if it cost you a fortune and you wasted tons of fabric to do it? Well, you weren't very efficient. You see, great management isn't just about hitting the goal. It's about hitting it in the smartest way possible, without wasting time, money, or materials. Okay, so we've got our definition down. Now let's start building on top of that. What are the key features of management that you'll find everywhere? And what is it really trying to do? This is basically the blueprint for how it all works. These 7 points are your go-to for describing what management is really all about. For instance, it's all-pervasive, which just means you find it everywhere. In a school, a hospital, a sports team, not just a big company. It's also dynamic, meaning it has to constantly change and adapt. And my personal favorite is that it's an intangible force, right? You can't physically touch management, but oh boy, you can absolutely feel it when it's being done well, and you can definitely feel it when it's not. So, with all that said, what's the point? What is all this management actually for? Well, a really good manager is like a master juggler, constantly keeping 3 different kinds of objectives balanced in the air. First, and most importantly, you have the organizational objectives. This is the absolute bedrock. The business has to survive, it has to make a profit, and it needs to grow. It's simple, really. If the organization isn't healthy, nothing else is going to matter. Second, every business has social objectives. No company exists in a bubble, right? It's part of a community, and it has a responsibility to be a positive force within it. This could mean anything from using eco-friendly manufacturing to creating good jobs. It's all about being a good corporate citizen. And finally, we have personal objectives. Let's remember, organizations are made of people, so good management has to make sure the needs of those individuals are met. This means things like fair pay, a safe work environment, and real opportunities for them to grow. The real magic happens when a manager can perfectly align those personal goals with the company's goals. We've defined what management is and what it tries to do. But so what? Why is getting all of this right so absolutely critical for success? This right here, this is why it matters. Think of good management like a powerful magnifying glass. It takes all the scattered energy of a group and focuses it into one powerful beam to hit a target. It boosts efficiency, which saves money. It helps the company stay nimble and adapt to change. And like we just said, it's the very thing that allows an organization to help its employees and the wider community. All right, get ready for this one because it's a classic. You are almost guaranteed to see a question about this on your exam. The big debate: is management a rigid science with set rules, or is it a creative art that relies on intuition? Well, here's the trick. The answer is, it's both. The best way to think about it is like the 2 halves of your brain.
The science part is like the logical side. It's all the established principles and theories you can learn from a textbook. The art part is the creative side. That's the skill, the experience, and the human touch you need to apply all that knowledge in messy, real-world situations.
So they're not mutually exclusive at all. In fact, they complement each other. The very best managers start by learning the science, and then they spend their entire careers practicing and perfecting the art. They know the rule book inside and out, but they also have the wisdom to know exactly when and how to apply each rule.
Okay, we've nailed the what and the why. Now let's pull back the curtain and look at the how. How is management actually structured inside a company, and what do managers really do all day?
So generally, you'll see this three-tier pyramid. At the very top, you have top management, the CEO, the president, the folks setting the grand vision and the overall strategy. In the middle, you have middle management who act as the crucial link, translating that big strategy into concrete plans. And down at the base, you have supervisory or operational management. These are the supervisors on the ground, directly overseeing the work being done. This whole structure connects the big ideas at the top with the action on the floor.
And no matter which level a manager is on, they are all performing these 5 functions. It all begins with planning, deciding what to do. Then comes organizing, getting all your resources in order. After that, staffing, finding the right people. Then directing, leading and motivating the team. And finally, controlling, watching how things are going and making changes as needed. And remember, this isn't just a checklist, it's a continuous, repeating cycle.
All right, we've made it through all the core ideas. Now for the best part. Let's pull everything together into one final, powerful recap to get you completely ready for that exam.
If you remember just one thing, make it this slide. This is the entire chapter in a nutshell. At its heart, management is a continuous process that works on 3 levels. It's a mix of both art and science, and it's always trying to balance 3 types of objectives. And every manager does it by using those 5 key functions. Seriously, take a screenshot of this. You'll be glad you did.
Okay, now it's your turn to put this into practice. These are the exact kinds of questions you're likely to see. My advice, pause the explainer right here and just try to outline an answer for each one using what we've talked about. Practicing your written answers is how you truly lock in the knowledge.
And that's our complete breakdown of the nature and significance of management. You've got all the theory now, but I'll leave you with this question to think about. In the real world, what do you think truly separates a good manager from a great one? Is it their mastery of the science, or is it their perfection of the art? Something to chew on. Thanks for joining me, and good luck with your studies.